Hey guys, welcome back to the Everyday Creative. Today we're going to talk about how to edit photos on your iPhone without using a single app. A lot of people don't realize that you can edit photos within your actual photo album. There's no obligated posting after you've edited the photo. There's no awkward, like, I want to edit this photo and then I'm going to post it, then I'm going to go back and delete it because I don't want people to think that I'm posting. You know that spiral. We've all been there. I should also make note that there's a plumber in my house working right now and he probably thinks I'm talking to myself. Truth. It's super simple. I'm going to show you how to take your photo from this to this. Here we go. So first I'm just going to open up a photo album. These are just a couple of my favorites and I'm just going to click on this one right here because I think that we could edit this to make this look really pretty. Okay, so this is a picture of my son, and as you can see, there's some, shadows right around his face. There's some just different areas I think that could really be boosted in either brightness or contrast to really make this photo pop. Again, I didn't really want to post this picture, so I am going to just open it up in my photo albums and go click on this edit button right here. Okay, so then on my screen right now, you're going to see a selection of tools right here on this side of it. And these are really, really amazing, just built in within the photo album editor. All right, so first things first, this is your crop tool, this little square that kind of crosses at the corners. When you click on this, you're going to have a variety of different options. You're going to be able to rotate your images around, kind of crop it if you want it at an angle. The second is you are literally able to turn the image around. If it is facing the wrong direction, you can rotate it around to where you want it to be. If at any point, this is kind of just a quick tip, if at any point you say, oh, I kind of wanted it angled, but oh shoot, I don't want that anymore, there's a reset button right over here. Just click reset and it brings you back to the original image. So that's pretty handy. The next tool with these three little circles, this is going to be your built-in filters that the iPhone has preset up for you. So here's the original, and you can go through here, just to see what your own style is. This is vivid, warm, and cool. A little drama. Honestly, you guys, I don't tend to edit within these filters, and that's primarily because once you select on a filter, there's no way to adjust it per image. So you are confined within the preset settings that this is applied to your photo. Before I go any further, I want to hear from you guys. Do you guys use the iPhone editor app, and what do and don't you like about the editor app itself? Comment below so we can start a discussion about ways to simplify the editing process without having to open up any other apps. So the next set is this little circle right here. The little circle is going to be, it has little dots around it. It kind of looks like a little clock. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this little circle. So you're going to have three different drop-down menus. You're going to have light, color, and black and white. I do almost all of my editing in the light section, so let's go ahead and drop down that menu. Now, my personal preference is I always start with the brightness. The brightness as a whole brightens up the image, and I just think that just clicking it up a few notches gives you a good little base. So I think I'm going to stop about right there. Click back into my drop-down menu. Now we're going to talk about the brilliance. So in all images, we have what they call highlights and shadows, and it's literally exactly that. The highlights are the brightest parts of your image, like my son's helmet right here. The shadows are going to be the darkest parts of the image. So his face, these little bits of coral back here in the background. Within the Brilliance tool, you are able to adjust both the highlights and the shadows at the same time. Now, for some people who just want to keep it simple, this is a great tool. You can pull both up, or if your image is a little bit too bright, you can pull it all the way down. For me, I don't like to do anything too drastically. I like to do just a few notches here, just a little bit. And to me, I really think that those highlights on that level look really nice. You can see the white outline of his helmet, and I think that I might need to adjust the shadows a little bit more. He has a super cute expression on his face, and I really want to be able to see that. So I'm going to go back to my drop-down menu, and it gives you the options to adjust them separately. So the brilliance level is adjusting them both at the same time, but you can also pull them out separately, and that will give you a really strong chance to making a picture perfect image. So I'm going to click on shadows, and you can see how much his face starts to pop out when I start to drag it up a little bit. Now my number one tip is to just go slow. Don't do anything too much. I always say less is better, but you want to make sure just going a few notches up at a time and then kind of taking a step back to see where you're at. The bad thing about adjusting your shadows and pulling them up is that the image starts to lose a little bit of its depth or its contrast. Sometimes it starts to kind of make things blend all together, because where it was once darker and contrasting towards the highlights in the image, now everything is starting to kind of feel a little bit faded out. So that's when I want to go back to my drop-down menu and bump up the contrast just a little bit. If at any point you want to see the progress you're making during the editing process, all you have to do is just tap and hold, and you'll be able to see the original content and release. See how much brighter that looks? It's perfect. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how this is going. I'm going to go ahead and close out this light menu, and I'm going to just talk to you guys really quickly about the next two options. The color. Now, the color menu, I don't mess with it a lot, and mostly because I think that it's just kind of overcomplicating the process. Saturation is basically talking about the vibrancy of your colors, how bright and bold. Sometimes when you pull it up, it starts to look a little bit cartoonish, as you can see, but when you pull it down, it starts to look real faded, almost black and white. This is a great time to point out that if you watched my last video on 5 simple steps how to take better iPhone pictures, you've already set yourself up to editing a great photo. So typically, I actually do not adjust the saturation because I think it can be very quickly overdone. But because of where we were in this picture, the water was so blue and actually so vibrant, I'm gonna knock this up one quick notch just so that I have a really good base and we can all sit back and remember how blue the actual water was. So next, we already kind of adjusted my contrast, so I'm not gonna touch that. And then there's this option called the cast. The cast is determining how warm or cool your image is. So when you bump up the cast, you're going to bring out a lot of warm tones. You can kind of see already how the white in the helmet looks more yellow. Now if you pull the cast down, you will see how much more blue it looks. This is basically just adjusting how warm and cool your image is. I'm going to keep this right in the middle because I think with the other editing adjustments we've made, I'm really happy with the cast coloring as it is. So you guys, I'm really happy with how this picture turned out. You can see my son's expression a little bit more. The water is nice and vibrant and blue. It's still bringing out the white in the helmet, and all the right locations are appropriately contrasted against each other. So I'm going to go ahead and click the done button. And there's one more thing I want to point out to you. If at any point you kind of panic that you ruined the original image, don't worry. You can go back into the edit and just click revert. And that's it. It's a great way to quickly edit all your photos within your photo album without even opening up a separate app. It really simplifies the process and gives you access to some great tools. Sometimes it's nice to not have to post something and save all of your photo edits. That is the frustrating part about certain different editing apps. They're all fantastic. There are so many good ones to choose out there. And in terms of simplifying the process and saving your own time, this is a really great option. I'm going to ask you guys for a real quick favor, and that's to hit the like button on this video and to also subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with all of my new tutorials coming your way. And hit the bell. The bell icon is a really useful tool, especially if you're not on social media and you won't see when I've posted new content. It'll automatically notify you when I upload a new video, so you'll stay up to date. All right, I hope you guys learned something new today. In the meantime, you can check me out on Instagram at Erinn Everyday for more creative living tips without really trying too hard.